It was pointed out to me that with my new vlogging schedule of Wednesdays and weekends, that it was kind of like a mullet in the sense that Wednesdays should be the more serious vlogs where I kind of focus on the more heartfelt or thought-provoking content. And then on the weekends, what I should do is I should focus on more fun or frivolous or kind of enjoyable vlogs where they're not overly serious. Essentially, my vlog would become a mullet with business on Wednesdays and party on weekends kind of thing, like the business in the front, party in the back kind of perspective that mullets have. Now, I don't mind this idea, but there are two problems with it. One, I've had a mullet and I feel like it's sort of bringing back painful memories of my youth when I was a bit of a fashion victim. Not that that's really changed. And the second thing is because I didn't think of it and it's actually pretty funny. Anyway, I'm trying to get ready to go for a run and I'm a little bit behind. Essentially, I should have already been out and back from my run. But it's been one of those days where you just lose track of time and you're doing things and maybe some of those things aren't a priority, but you're enjoying doing them. And sometimes enjoyment is a priority. And I can't say that any of the things that I did were particularly world-changing or even necessarily exciting, but that's sort of not the point. I'm trying to have a better appreciation for things that are normal everyday occurrences. In other words, I want to stop taking normal for granted. Okay, so to start with, some viewer discretion is advised. There's going to be partial nudity from my nipples up today, so bear with me on that. So in the interest of not taking normal for granted, I decided to bring you out on a run with me, which last time I tried to do didn't work out so great. But I run almost every single day and I kind of do take it for granted. So I decided that today was as good a day as any to retry it and see if I could pull it off. Wish me luck. So really that's what I'm trying to balance here. The idea that running is a normal everyday occurrence for me, and by not sharing it with you, I'm kind of taking normal for granted, as in taking running for granted. I'm a big fan of boredom. And I'm a big fan of normal. Exciting doesn't always mean good, and extraordinary isn't always positive. So I think I'd like to encourage more people to embrace boredom and, embrace ordinary. Because ultimately, they're gonna make up the majority of your life. So you might as well appreciate them. Or, if not appreciate them, try not to take them for granted. And yes, it's naive of me to suggest that when you're healthy, you should give appreciation for the fact that you're not sick, or that when you're not injured, you should take a moment, pause, and be thankful that you're not injured. The human mind just doesn't seem to be wired that way, at least not naturally. But you do have free will. You've got a choice. And if you make that choice to express some gratitude for when you're bored or when things are normal, I can't help but think you'll appreciate those moments when they're not available to you a little bit more, because you remember to say thank you for them. I think where normal gets a bad reputation is that a lot of people equate it with a lack of progress, which, to be fair, makes a lot of sense. It's easy to equate normal with kind of status quo or homeostasis. If you're constantly pushing yourself in some meaningful way, aka progress, then normal for you is progress. I think that's a much better way to look at it. We just don't want to regress. And I think when we underappreciate normal, we might attempt to do things that make things interesting, but at a long-term cost, in the sense that we sacrifice normal for excitement and end up regressing. there is a psychological phenomenon that kind of explains why people take normal for granted. Have you ever heard of the hedonic treadmill? The theory behind this is that when something is new and novel, like a novel stimulus of some type, we have a bit more appreciation for it, or at least we recognize it more readily, versus things that are kind of always in our life. When it comes to the things that we're used to, I think we're almost wired, again, to use that term, to take those things for granted. Like, we almost can't help ourselves. It feels like everything about the human brain is designed to make us placid and complacent. And that's no way to live, is it? Okay, I'm home. And I was backlit the entire way home, so I didn't even try to record anything anymore. But I just wanted to leave you with two parting thoughts as far as embracing normal is concerned and the idea of the hedonic treadmill. The best way that you can prevent yourself from taking normal for granted or getting on a hedonic treadmill and not appreciating things just because they're not new or novel or something that you haven't experienced before is mindfulness. This goes into a long history of debates over what I think is better, meditation or mindfulness. The short answer is I think mindfulness is better than meditation, but that's going to be a vlog for another day. What I'm trying to tell you is that by using mindfulness, you can circumvent taking normal for granted, and you can also prevent the hedonic treadmill. It might be something as simply putting yourself in the moment and asking yourself, is this good? Is this fine? Am I happy here? Is this something I should appreciate more? The question doesn't really matter. The idea is that you actually stop, place yourself in that moment, and be mindful. That for me is probably the key to not taking normal for granted. And it's certainly a key to not getting stuck on the hedonic treadmill. Speaking of taking normal for granted, did you notice through this whole vlog that my glasses were crooked? I actually broke the arm when I was trying to clean them, but I was committed to going for this run. So, crooked sunglasses for the entire thing. But boy, I sure miss my glasses when they weren't broke. That was normal. That's the cemetery I chose to film my first vlog in. We can just file that under trivia.